Welcome to Hello Chaos, a weekly podcast exploring the messy and chaotic minds and lives of founders, entrepreneurs, and innovators. Each week, I have the privilege to speak with founders across the spectrum, founders from different industries at various stages, from startups to mature businesses of all shapes and sizes. Our listeners get to hear the real, the raw, the unvarnished viewpoints and stories, getting incredible insights on what it takes to scale and start a business or to become a better founder, a better CEO, or just a better business leader. Better humans is what we're shaping up to be. Today on our podcast, on our show, we've got Mallory Vaughan Patton. She is co-founder of Saint Spritz, an Italian spritz in a can. I am excited to have you on. Welcome, Mallory. And you're calling out of Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. Yeah.
And beautiful scenery right behind you. So welcome to the chaos. How are you doing?
I'm happy to be here. That's so funny. I didn't connect the dots until you had explained it, but chaos is a great word.
It's the best word for us, isn't it? we live in chaos. We welcome it. Sometimes we hate it, but it is a word that describes our world, isn't it?
It's perfect.
So start us out. What inspired you to start Saint Spritz? Talk about that, and like because you're just now starting to get momentum. You're in Whole Foods, just launched like this week. So exciting! But just how in the world did this all start?
So we launched Saint Spritz really just out of a need that we felt ourselves. We had gone to Italy one summer because my brother-in-law got married over there, and we were just drinking so much Aperol Spritz. And even at his wedding, the line for Aperol Spritz, it was like a Spritz bar, and the line was like 50 people deep at all times. And the regular bar was just like flowing naturally. And we're like, man, everybody loves these things. And then we got back to where we live. Yes, they're amazing. And honestly, like as people are thinking more consciously about their drinking habits, a spritz is just a great beverage that feels light and refreshing and not too hard. So it's a great option. And when we got back to Puerto Rico, we noticed like I do a lot of entertaining, and I would make one Aperol Spritz, and then immediately everybody was like, I want one. And me and Jojo were making, my sister-in-law, who's my other co-founder, we're making them so often. We're like, man, these would be so much better ready to drink. And so many of the drink options out on the market, like we're coming out with great RTD options.
Yeah.
So we went to the store and tried to buy some, and everything that we bought just didn't taste like those like iconic Italian spritzes that are so crisp and refreshing. And we were like, should we start this? Should we try to make our own and make it better for you? Because when we looked into what was in those Aperol spritzes, we're like red dye 40, yellow 6, added sugar. And I've got 2 kids, and we all, try to live pretty healthy. And those are definitely not things I try to consume regularly.
Yeah. So are you telling me like in my Aperol bottle, that's red dye? Is that what's the coloring?
With if you look on the bottle, it says it on there. It's really small, but
it's what it is.
Yeah, was pretty bright red. So honestly, that was like such a huge part of our journey is like, in order to make these feel and look like that bright orange spritz, like, are we going to be able to do that naturally? And that was like a big part of the hurdle. And that's what truly took us the longest to get, was that bright color. And we did it naturally with natural dyes. And just, I think with so many things that we consume today, it's like, you can easily make these things naturally. Let's move away from the dyes.
The chemicals, yeah. So what did you guys have experience in kind of this ingredient and formulation? Is this your background?
No, it is not my background at all. So it's kind of a funny, so we're female and family founded. So it's myself and my sister-in-law, Jojo, and then her brother, Ben, is also one of our founders. But I'm married to Jojo's older brother. So it really is like a family thing. But, we had always said that, I think it was my mother-in-law that wanted the whole family to do a business together at some point. Like everybody was just busy and nothing came up. And Jojo, my other co-founder, was on The Bachelorette, and, had...
What?
Yeah, she has a ton of followers and does a lot of work with brands, and, had always kind of loosely talked about making her own brand. And after that trip to Italy, it was kind of like, is this it? That we like start this together?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it came about organically. But my husband and his brother, Jojo's brothers, have started and sold several different businesses. So they're
So they kind of knew the
Yeah, so
landscape a little bit.
yeah, so they're familiar with crazy entrepreneurial journeys. So I think it was that mindset that when we were drinking those drinks and I kind of looked at Jojo and we said, should we do this? My husband was like, do it. And
Right.
then the next morning I woke up and he was like, did you find a place to make it? And I was like, and he really
Our
like
kitchen?
every day was like, what are you thinking? When are you going to have cans in hands? And it was like, it really drove us to the process faster just because that experience.
Yeah. So how did you guys figure out like the formula, or did you find like a partner, a manufacturer that helped with that, like to speed that process along? I mean,
We
that just seems
we just got on
unfamiliar and challenging. Like, how did you cross that?
I just got on Google, like, how do you create a beverage brand? I think I watched a YouTube video and then just started calling co-packers. And then I found somewhere either online or from one of the calls that I had that said, like, well, first you need to get a formula put together. And then so I was interviewing formula houses and eventually landed with a great team on the formula side. And that's when we kind of just said, like, hey, we've got two goals, because we started with just the Amalfi flavor, which is this one, which is the iconic bright orange spritz that you're used to seeing. And I was like, we have two goals. We want this to look and taste like an Aperol spritz, but we don't want to use anything artificial. We just want to do this with wine and juice. So it was just kind of like step by step figuring it out, which I think for a lot of entrepreneurs is the case. They don't know what they're doing. It's
They're just jumping in. So, so what was the biggest, or what was the biggest aha kind of in this experience of that you've been in the journey so far? Like the biggest kind of breakthrough that you're like, yes.
So I think, a lot of figuring out this industry was just like calls. And I spoke to anyone that would have a phone conversation with me. But I think at some point we just realized like we had to trust our gut. Yeah. And that was like the aha. It's like every different expert is going to tell you a different thing. Like you need to be in 6-packs, you need to be in 4-packs, you need to be in tiny cans. Everyone had a different opinion. So at the end of the day, we just kind of did our research and then went with our gut. And that was like a big aha for us, because I think at every turn, that's something we've had to do.
Stay true to your vision, like the original vision. What did you discover most, or what have you discovered most about yourself in this journey?
So it's been really, it's been transformative. I mean, before I launched Saint Spritz, I was at home with the kids. I have a now 7-year-old. His birthday was yesterday. 7-year-old son and a 3-year-old daughter. So I've been in the thick of it with just raising them. I've been living in chaos. But, I think just transforming from mother to entrepreneur has been a journey, and that's been really, there's probably things about being a mother that have helped me, because I think as an entrepreneur, you're just juggling so much. And it's the same with being a mother, that I was able to kind of transform those skills into a different space, which has been cool.
Yeah. What has been the most challenging? What's been the biggest barrier? And maybe you're still in it, but like, what's a oh shit moment? What have we done, or how do we get out of this?
There has been a lot of oh shit moments, but I think what I've learned is like everything is tackleable. So like, don't panic. That's not going to make it better. In any sort of panic situation, panicking doesn't help.
Right.
But I think for us, we launched mostly as a direct-to-consumer brand using JoJo's following from Instagram. Like, hey, we'll do a test batch. We'll test it just direct-to-consumer because we're wine-based.
Right.
And we're only 5% ABV. So we're like, okay, we'll do this like kind of smaller start, test, see if we have product market fit. And I think our big oh shit moment was like, we did that launch and we sold out.
Oh, wow. So you guys only like manufactured or produced like a very small quantity?
I think it was like, it was not to me, it wasn't small, because I think we did like 888 cases or something out.
Oh my,
the minimum was 888 and we were like, we'll double that. So we did roughly like 2,000 cases for this.
And how many cans in a case?
A case is 24.
Oh my goodness.
So it was a big run. It was still like a big run, but we were like, we're just going to do this smaller run to start. And I think this is a huge issue for people trying to start in the beverage industry is it's like really, really difficult as a small producer to get line time.
Yeah.
So
Explain what that is to listeners.
getting on in a factory on the line to do your
Yep.
product run to get product. And so it was really difficult to like meeting deadlines to get your cans pressed, and everything is like sprint to finish. And then so we
Right.
finally get to do this run, and they're telling us the minimum is 888 cases, which is a lot for a small producer anyways. And we're like, all right, double it.
Right.
We'll do that. This is going to be plenty. And we ended up selling out like very quickly. And what we learned there is like our oh shit moment was like, okay, well now we've launched and
Right.
we've got people excited about the brand trying to buy it direct to consumer, and now we don't have any product.
Ugh.
So we were just sitting on our hands, and it's so difficult to get in the
How
factory.
fast, like turnaround? So you sold all of that. Are they saying like, okay, we can't get you back on the line for another like 3 months or something?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And that's what we found, particularly like as we're not White Claw or High Noon, right? So
Right.
you don't get this preferential treatment. It's like you have to book line time. And so we really like moving forward with that. We're like, okay, we have to go all in, and our next run has to be big, and we're gonna have to just pitch big retail and go from there, because we can't like be waiting for each
Right.
production
So
run.
it's like DTC to start, but then you're like, now we've got to hit the wholesale and the retail markets.
Yeah, so we were DTC at launch, which was summer of 2023, and then that like fall winter we started conversations with distributors just for Texas, and we launched
Okay.
into Texas only January of last year.
Okay.
We really only had Texas last January, and this January we are launching national.
Did you find a national distributor or what, like
Yeah,
a wholesaler or how?
the way it kind of rolled out for us was like we had that great TTC launch. We used that information to have conversations with distributors. We spent all of what the alcohol industry calls OND of last fall talking, and we got with a distributor in Dallas, Texas, and put together the network so we could launch into retail in January. And at that time, we only had Total Wine, and we
Okay.
only had luckily we had a HEB mandate,
That
which
was
was
like the hip stores. Yeah.
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 And if you're from Texas, that is like
That is it. That's the store.
and so we got like this God-given mandate for the Amalfi, which is all we had at that time. And then in the spring, we launched the two other flavors, Sicily and Hugo, because
Okay.
the Amalfi is incredible, but it's that bittersweet Aperol
It's
Spritz
the
that
Aperol.
it's
What's
polarizing.
and you said the Sicily one is the limoncello.
Yeah, so it's like a lemon basil, like we call it our Sicilian sparkling lemonade.
Hmm.
It's really
then,
light and refreshing. And then the Hugo is like a Hugo Spritz that you can order at a bar. It's elderflower, mint, and lime.
oh, yeah, yeah. I was like trying to figure out what the Hugo was. Okay.
Yeah, so we
Okay.
launched those two last spring, DTC, and then got the opportunity last summer to trial all three flavors within Target in Dallas Fort Worth.
Okay.
And we got like 4 or 5 stores, and they did just incredibly well. And the Target team approached us that fall, and they said, look, like this product's doing really well. We're really excited about the spritz category in general. We want to roll this out statewide. And that was like huge news for us. We're
Huge.
so excited.
Yeah.
Get all set up to do that for Texas. And then the buyer was like, hey, I know this is really short notice, but we want this to launch national for spring.
Wow.
And
So what did you guys have to do, like, right, to find a different
so we had to align
manufacturer and packing
the
partner?
manufacturing wasn't really as much of an issue because that was just scaling and just more
Okay.
capital. It was more finding distribution.
Hmm.
So in October of this past fall, we had to start those conversations with distributors to get basically all of the United States in distribution, which is really, really difficult because if the space.
With all the rules and yeah, every state has a different rule around that.
Yeah, and it's just a crowded market. So there's
Yeah.
a million drinks that are looking for distribution. So
Yeah.
luckily for us, we aligned nationally with the distribution with RNDC on a national contract, and Johnson Brothers, and then some beer network and pockets that were strong for us. We put it together, and we launched last week. It hit the shelves. We're in every Target that sells wine, basically.
That's fantastic. And
Yeah.
one of the questions I had for you was, you know, is this? And you said it's in the spritz category, but are you guys like the first of its kind in the spritz category,
So I think there's a
or
few.
is it? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, there's a few other spritz type in cans, but I think what we felt there was a real miss on is like after we got back from Italy, it was like everything you saw on social media and like the
Mm.
White Lotus did their whole Italy season, and it was this whole vibe of the Amalfi Coast. And we didn't feel like anyone really captured that vibe. And when you look at our cans, we did the stripe to like resemble the umbrellas that you see on the beach
Yeah,
in Amalfi. And we really wanted to like package up that experience of the Italian, you know, our slogan is departure in every can.
right.
And we didn't feel like there was a canned product that really grabbed that vibe.
Is was the can from the vision from the start of we want to be in a can versus like a spritz in a bottle or something like,
We
or
always
was there packaging issues around because of the ingredients?
we always wanted to be in a can because
Okay.
we felt part of the spritz experience that was cumbersome was like we live at the beach in Texas. A lot of people are on
Oh,
the
no
boats and
glass.
bring
Yeah.
in the prosecco and bring in the Aperol or the Saint Germain, whatever you're using.
Right.
So
Load in the cooler.
it's like,
Yeah.
hey, let's just make something that's like ready to crack a can and pour over ice or drink straight from the can. So that was always
That
we were
was the vision.
fans.
I love it. What um now I lost my little question here. What's been the most rewarding part?
I think the most rewarding part has been like that we truly have like none of us on the core team has well now we've hired some beverage people, but none of us had any beverage experience. And we just figured it out. And I think that's been really rewarding. And I think it's a good example for other people, other
Right.
entrepreneurs, or even like
You
for
guys
my
had
kids,
grit. You were bold. Like the phone
anything
call,
you
like just being that perseverance of making those calls and having those conversations and
yeah. I mean, anything, it's truly testament to like anything you put your mind to, you can figure out. Cause I think beverage is pretty complicated.
hey, founders, quick pause in the chaos for something that might just change the way you think about marketing. If you've ever hired an agency and felt like you got a bunch of fluff, no results, and a lot of, hey, look at this cool logo, you're not alone. Bright marketing is not like that. They are not there to sell you tactics you do not need or drown you in buzzwords. They work with you to solve the real friction points, keeping your business, your brand from growing. Bright Marketing is a different kind of agency, one built for founders, CEOs, and teams who are done wasting money on marketing and advertising that doesn't move the needle. Their secret weapon? Curiosity. They ask better questions, they connect the dots, they tailor strategies that make branding, marketing, and advertising actually work as a growth engine, not an expense. So if your brand is stuck or your marketing feels like an expensive guessing game, talk to them. They're offering a mini brand therapy workshop. It's a 60-day tune-up. Only 5 slots are available. Send an email to hello@gobrightnow.com and grab one of these spots. Or to learn how their service packages can help you get clarity, confidence, and real results. Send that email today and write curious in the subject line. Now back to the chaos. And the fact that you're a family, family startup, family founded. Um, you've got sister-in-law as your, co-founder. Talk to me about that. How do you work and establish communication, boundaries, um, dealing with, it's family. And
Yeah.
sometimes, because they'll tell you, oh, don't get involved with the family.
So for us, I know I've definitely heard that before, but honestly, like I think because we are such a tight knit family, and
Right.
because my husband and his brother have been in business together
Right.
for their whole lives, there's just like a trust, and just a trust that you have working with your family. And I think honestly, it's been a benefit for us because we are so close. Like
Yeah.
we're all like my brother in law is next door to me, and then my sister in law is like 2 minutes down the street, and it just works for us. I think
Yeah.
that we know when one of us is going through something personally, whether if I've got a sick kid or, someone's spouse is out of town, so they're managing alone, or we just get each other. And I think if it's when you're working in a corporate environment, when it's really like structured and you don't know people more personally, maybe you don't there's not as much as a deep understanding that we have.
Yeah.
And we can just call each other out. Like, I know, like Jojo will be like, "You're being weird. Why are you being weird?" Like, it's just, it's, it's comfortable.
Yeah. Ah, you can teach lessons on that, I think, for there you go.
Mhm.
Um, so were there any myths? Just, when you hear you had, the few men that had already done this as kind of like second nature, but were there misperceptions that you had or JoJo had going into this that you were like, you guys lied. Like this is not what I thought it was going to be. Did you guys have any of those moments, you or JoJo?
I think we felt it because a lot of the beginning was like discovery calls. And I
Yeah.
think of quite a few of the calls were like, y'all are crazy. Like, you need to, if you're thinking about launching a beverage brand, you need to raise at least $15 million to start.
Mm.
And then I remember we had one call where Jojo and I were on, and the guy was like, "Yeah, there was a brand that scaled as fast as y'all, but I think they raised $250 million." And Jojo and I were like, "What? Like,
What?
that's crazy." And I've actually spoken with some other founders of other really successful drinks, and they were like, "Yeah, that's like the same vibe that we got." And we just like, I think you just have to be really scrappy. I think
Yeah.
beverage can get really expensive, so we just do a lot of it ourselves.
That
And
was like, are you guys self-funded right now? And
we're self-funded. So we're really like careful with our dollars.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
Are
I
you
think
guys what's the end game? Are you guys, just going to grow and keep it as like this is a family business and we're going to continue with lines, or is there kind of an exit plan of nope, we're going to build this in, 3 years, 5 years and we're hoping, you know, um some liquor brand or Anheuser-Busch kind of buys us out.
I think we're really proud that we have created something as a family. Like that's really like the most of it is like, wow, like we had this dream and we created it and we could hold
Yeah.
it and it's in Target and it's in
It's so
Walmart and
cool.
Total Wine. That's a crazy, amazing feeling. I think what we are realizing is that I think we're doing a great job where we're at now. But I think in order for us to go to level two,
Yeah.
I think for us to work strategically with a larger organization would be extremely helpful.
Yeah.
I think we're doing the best we can as like a scrappy crew, and I think we're doing an amazing job. But I think our dreams for Saint Spritz is that it's everywhere.
Right.
The way I envision it is like it's like Perrier. Like I want to see it when I'm on
That's
vacation
right.
in France. I want to
Come
see it.
on, private equity firms, let's go. Let's go.
Let's
They need
go.
it. Like I think I said at the start, I don't know if we were recording yet, but congratulations on getting in your pop-up into Whole Foods. And you had said that that was also kind of a goal going in of we have to have standards, formula standards that are Whole Foods standards.
Yeah,
Explain that. I didn't realize that Whole Foods had, um,
yeah.
whatever,
Whole
like filters and limitations and boundaries of like you can't come in here unless you meet these
Yeah, they have a
qualifications.
full list. It's like called like the Whole Foods. It's just you have to be Whole Foods compliant, right?
Okay.
The whole list of ingredients that you can include in your product. And for us, we were like, we want to be Whole Foods compliant, but I think we went a step further where it's like we want everything on the label that you can read. It's like carbonated water, orange wine, orange juice, white grape juice, monk fruit juice, fruit and vegetable juice, and
Right.
it's like everybody knows what those things are.
That's right.
I think that's like been
That's how
pretty
you got
cool
in
too.
there. Yeah. Now you're going to be is Whole Foods going to be your like the next national, push is to be
That's
in.
what we're hoping for because I think what we found a lot like with JoJo's audience, right? Like she has this great microphone to almost 3 million people, but when we were just available in Texas, it was like it's like a tree falling in the forest.
Right.
Is like if we are available in more places, our consumer can go more places. So
Yeah.
now it's going to be in every Target where you can buy wine, and we have 505 Walmarts, the Total Wines in all the states where we launched Target. And yeah, Whole Foods right now is just regional in Texas, but what we've been doing as a brand is we start within a retailer and then we really
And then
support
just
it and
branch out.
grow. And so the hope is to grow national at Whole Foods because I think it's hard when it's spot.
Yeah. It's
Just
exciting though. Well, so I mean, so when you saw it like in Target, did you go and have your friends go buy some, or you were like,
I
what
was
was
so
that moment when you guys were on the shelf?
before we even had our cans produced, I had like a sleeve of this, like it was like the aluminum just in a sheet for approval for artwork, and
Yeah.
I taped it onto a Red Bull can, and I brought it into Target, and I took a picture and I sent it to JoJo, and I was like, "Look," and she was like, "I don't think you can do that. Get out of the store." I was like, "I need it for my vision board." And so, like when it launched into Target, of course, yeah, I went there and I went to get, all the flavors. I was so excited. But what I said is like Target, it's like the house always wins. I'm like, them bringing me into Target was a good move because now I'm in it like every week or every other week, just spending Target. You're like, what happened? I came here to get toothpaste and I have, shoes for my daughter and toys and everything else. They tell you what to put in the cart at Target. So
That's right. That's right. Um, if you had to if you had to say, "Ooh, I wish I could do that over again," whether it's because you now are more knowledgeable or informed, is there anything that you'd look back to go, "Damn, I wish I would have. I wish I could do that differently."
my first reaction is no, because I'm always like a very big believer in like every step leads to the next step and you are where you are for a
Right.
reason. But I would say, looking back, if I could give myself advice from the future, I'd be like, trust your gut, because I think we made some steps early on where professionals told us you've got to hire an outside sales team to help you
Mm,
sell into retail. You guys don't have experience. And so we did that and spent like a pretty good amount of money doing that for a couple months.
yeah,
And
they didn't work.
it did not work and it was not a good environment. And
Was
we
it
all
because they didn't understand your vision?
they didn't understand our vision, and also it was this weird dynamic where like another founder would connect me to a buyer, and like I would try to reach out, and then they would be like, there's too many chefs in the kitchen, like we're reaching out, it's weird if you reach out. And I'm like, I can't do this, like I'm trying to grow my brand and this
Right.
company's now holding me back. So we sat down as a team, like as a family, we were like screw it, like we're just
Right.
gonna grow this on our own backs, like we can't expect anyone else to grow it, and like no one's gonna sell our brand better than we will.
That's right. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's a cool story. Because I
Yeah.
think you're right. I think there's a lot of other founders that get in that
You could
stuck.
burn a lot of money on
Oh,
consultants as a beverage founder. I
yes.
think the helpful part for us is like, because our CEO and co-founder Ben has run businesses before, like it's just looking at your P&L and being like each month, like did that give us value? And no,
Right.
we're not doing it anymore. And just like adapting fast, versus I think sometimes people are scared to like call out that an employee or a system isn't working. And I think you could get down the road and you can just burn through
That's
a lot of money.
that's right. That's right. If you could pick two things, if I give you a little magic wand, you could pick two things to change about the business today. What two things would you change?
Um, I would say access to like co-packer line time,
Mm.
and access to like some sort of way. Well, a couple. There's a lot of things I would change.
Top two. Top two.
But I would say like more accessibility to like launch a small product and not
Mm,
be like, oh, your minimum case run is going to be, 100 grand to do.
right.
So maybe some more
So
accessibility.
like a accessible to like small line.
Yeah, just like
Yeah.
trial run somewhere. Someone should do that. And then a second thing I would say is some sort of more streamlined systems throughout retail. Because
Mm,
what it is, like as a small team, when you're not Diageo or Constellation and you don't have a team of like 40
right.
working on a brand, each retailer has a different portal and each distributor has a
Oh,
different
yeah,
portal,
yeah.
and we're just doing a lot of the same work, like new item forms for every retailer. It's like I wish we could just like shoot these up into a cloud somewhere
Right.
and people could see the product and just bring it down if they wanted to, but it's every
There's an opportunity for an innovator right there.
yeah, if somebody can tackle that, someone will be very successful, because there's hundreds of retailers and
and
everybody
and
from
thousands of brands that are dealing exactly what you're doing. Yeah,
yeah. And even for the big guys, it's a lot of man hours, just
that's
like
right.
uploading all the DIMs and SKU information. And if you get it wrong, with, a 12-digit barcode, you could really screw up your year.
Right. Right. So, what do you do? I mean, you guys are running like hair on fire, scrappy, gritty, working as a really cohesive family unit, which is so inspiring of what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
What do you do to blow off steam, to relieve the stress, to lift each other up? Or what do you do individually? Like, what are you doing to keep your sanity?
Uh, it is like a lot to manage for sure. Like I feel like each day I'm like wearing so many different hats, from like creative stuff to production stuff to distribution to our relationship we have here in Puerto Rico with Coca-Cola. Like it's just a whole lot.
Hmm.
But for me, just I think mindset is a big thing.
Yeah,
Like instead of waking up and being like, "Oh my God, I have all these forms to do for Target, Walmart," it's like, what if it were the opposite, right? Like that would be worse that I
that's
didn't have.
right.
So it's really like an opportunity. And for me, I'm like, I'm so grateful because this is like a dream that we're
Yeah,
building. And some people don't even get that dream out of their head. So for me, it's mindset and practicing gratitude when you're feeling
mm.
overwhelmed, like just stepping back and be like, all of these are
This is
opportunities.
exciting,
And then
exciting days.
but also
Yeah,
just being like exercising helps too. Me and
mm.
JoJo and play like a ton of pickleball, so that's helpful.
Yeah.
Get
The
our
surge of pickle and hitting the beach that's right behind you.
Yeah. Hey, I need to do that for 2025. I need to do more. To bring my laptop up there.
Yeah, this would have been a fun episode on the beach.
You would
Um, if we met a year from now, so next spring, I'm coming to Puerto Rico. What are we celebrating?
I think we're celebrating Saint Spritz growing like 10x. I think our first year was really small, just kind of pocket launch TTC. I think last January was like testing our toes in Texas, and this spring is like launching national with
Mm.
Target and Walmart and Total Wine and making a big splash. And I think next spring is when you'll see it be everywhere,
Mm.
not just those kind of like
We're going to
key.
see it on the shelves
We're going to see
everywhere.
it everywhere.
All right.
I'm manifesting that.
That's right. Let's put it out there. So what else do you do? Do you do anything like surprisingly interesting for your free time? Do you have like a secret hidden gift of,
Um,
musician or
Not a musician. I do play a lot of pickleball, but I would say
champion?
like I'm very into making little moments for my family special, whether it's like a
Hmm.
birthday or we're celebrating a dinner. Like I love setting up and making that special, whether it's Valentine's Day, like that's
Right.
something I pour a lot of energy into because I remember that growing up with my mom, like St. Patty's Day, like all these things that didn't feel big, like she would make feel so special, like make green bagels. So it's hard to do, and a lot of times it's like I'm up until midnight blowing up Valentine's Day balloons. But it's for me, it brings me like the most joy is making magical moments for my kiddos and fam.
Yeah, I love that. I was talking to another founder earlier this week, and one of their struggles is, here they've been working, bootstrap. But then they got investors and stuff. And she was like, I'm in my mid 40s, and I realized I really haven't embraced enough joy in my life. And so she's trying to make some changes that she
Yeah,
can infuse. She was like, "What am I doing?" She's like, "I
yeah,
got 3 young kids,
yep.
and I'm not having fun,
No,
and I'm not joyous and joyful."
you got to live joyfully. I connected with
Yeah.
another entrepreneur a week ago. I was on a really special founder retreat through a group called Mavericks. And one of the guys there was telling this it's too long for this podcast, but this crazy story about he had one of this journey with a breath worker, and he said he like got visited by his mom, and she told him like from the grave, right, in this experience that like, hey, I'm gonna give you some advice
Hmm.
from what I've been through is like you need to live every day joyfully.
Yeah.
And the example he had given was like live like a dolphin. Like it's like they're not
Yeah.
thinking of stopping, they're just jumping in the waves. And
They're
like
just having a good time.
that's it. You got to live joyfully. Life's too short.
That's right. That's it. So are you involved in like the entrepreneurial kind of like community? You said that you're involved like Mavericks. Are there other groups, or would you recommend things like that for other founders of finding kind of these retreats or these communities to connect with?
I would love to get more involved. Like I would say like our first experience was Jojo and I got invited out to NBWA, which is the National Beer Wholesalers Conference.
Yeah.
And it was a female conference. And I would say like connecting with other female founders is so important because
Yeah.
there's just it's such a different journey. And I think that you can learn so much from those people. And I think Jojo and I credit so much of our journey to advice we got early on. We had connected with Kat from 21 Seeds and Katie Beal from Ranch Water, and they just gave us like so much great insight. So getting access to communities like that, if you can, are so helpful.
Yeah.
And the entrepreneur stuff that I was talking about with Mavericks is something I was plugged into through my husband because he's an entrepreneur. But it's just so uplifting to be around other people who entrepreneurs just think different and they think everything is impossible. And it's just such a positive energy to be around.
Right.
So I think as a founder,
we're cheerleaders for each other.
Yes, you need
we have to be
around that
energy. It is amazing when you get in that room of people think differently, they move differently. The energy is different. The air that's that you're breathing. It feels good. Yeah. What's the best piece of advice, whether it's your husband or some of these outsider, entrepreneurs that you've connected with, like Katie Beal? What's the best piece of advice that you've received from another founder entrepreneur that you really took to heart, and now you I need to amplify that?
I mean, there's so much great advice. I couldn't boil it down from all those great female founders, but I would say from my husband, and this sounds super cliche, but it's like Nike, like just do it.
Yeah.
Like if you have an idea, just do it. Like that's just
act
move forward and act. Cause I think so many people have these ideas and they want to do them and it's like shoulda, coulda, woulda. So I think that's been really like
have no fear.
Have no fear. Yeah. You can't have fear and you just have to go for it. And I think like, especially on these production runs with us, like it was a big risk. Like a lot was on the line to do a big run. Like what if those brands,
no one buys it?
What if no one buys it? That's the reality that you have to. It's like, but what if they do? What if they do buy it?
That's right.
And I think you just need to be positive and go for it. Just do it.
Just do it. All right. So if you had to sum up your entrepreneurial journey in just one word, what would that word be?
Transformative.
Why do you choose that word?
Because, my entrepreneurial journey was a transformation from being a mother to an entrepreneur. Like it's changed everything in my life in a positive way. So I would say that like kind of perfectly boils down my experience as an entrepreneur.
Love it. And then if you look ahead to the next chapter, what word describes that chapter?
Growth.
Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Get on every shelf.
Hey,
I'm excited. I can't wait to taste it.
I can't wait. Then where are you calling from?
We're South Carolina, Greenville.
Hey, Target near you, sis.
Is it in there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I will go find it.
Yeah, we're trying to come out there to do a little.
Because we like to pull those things off. Because we work with other brands and stuff, and it's not just it's hard to get in, but it's also you got to make sure you sell out so they continue to buy. Yeah,
I think it's easier to get in. Like if you have a good product and the product tastes good,
right?
Yes, but
to get off that shelf and in a competitive shelf space, it is.
It is
the fact that you guys were flying off the shelf. That just is a testament to I think there was a missing, like you said, there was a missing gap.
Yeah, I think when there's an opportunity and a need for something, and you have a good product and it's made well with great ingredients and the people behind it are good, I think it's all rising tide.
The story is there. That's right. Oh, this has been amazing. I've loved hearing the journey. Before we go, though, how do you want people to find more information, go support you, buy your drinks, buy get the cans, get them off the shelf?
Follow us at Saint Spritz on Instagram. Go to our website, saintspritz.com, and head to our store locator. Like I said, we're national at Target starting this week. We're in 505 Walmarts, Total Wine. In Texas, we're in H-E-B, Whole Foods in particular areas, Tom Thumb, Albertsons, Eataly. So if you go to our website on our store locator, you can find out where we are. We're in almost 3,000 locations. And then here in Puerto Rico, we distribute with Coca-Cola here. So we're in, I think,
You're in everywhere.
400 locations here. So
congrats on the Eataly too.
Yes, Eataly is our vibe.
I was like, kudos to that.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
It's a great store. Well, hopefully we'll get more placement in their New York and LA locations too, because it's
a perfect fit.
Our vibe.
That's right. Perfect fit. Oh, Mallory, thank you. And it was a pleasure meeting with you and hearing the story and tell the rest of your family. Good job. Kudos.
Thank you so much.
And for everyone listening or watching this episode, thank you for joining us. Again, the podcast is available on all your podcast platforms. So subscribe to Hello Chaos. Give us that 5-star review on Apple or Spotify. Share this great content and help us build a more connected entrepreneurial community. Hello Chaos is one of the many resources brought to you by Orange Whip. That is Orange Whip, WIP for Work in Progress. We are a multimedia company dedicated to serving founders and entrepreneurs. We send out a weekly whip for a roundup of founder stories across the spectrum. It's free. Just email to subscribe. We've done all the hard work for founders, so they just need to go to one trusted source. We have an online resource navigator to find all the information they need. If you'd like to be a guest on our podcast or support us, send us an email to hello@orangewhip.com. And y'all, thank you for tuning in to Hello Chaos. It is where aha meets oh shit, and we will see you again next week.